out at what's happening so far in this sphere, do you see any ways in which the transaction data so helpful are being used now or could be used or should be put into a plan? Just any specific example.
Well, I can give you one example in China because I personally experienced it, right? Those transaction data can be utilized by service providers in credit underwriting in the sense that, those transaction data in terms of how many coffee I drink every day, where I buy coffee, do I use Uber every day, and what kind of working hours I have. Those non-traditional data can be very useful for financial service providers to give me a credit score. And based on that credit score, the financial service provider give me a credit line without any face-to-face due diligence. That's a big saving because traditionally, banks, they need to do due diligence. They need to meet with us face-to-face. They need to even visit my home if they want to give me a home equity loan, right? So there's a lot of cost associated with traditional credit underwriting. But the non-traditional credit underwriting is based on data. And there is no need for face-to-face meeting. And it's much faster and much cheaper. And that's a way to create value. And we see a lot of that already in China because we have very good mobile payment system in China. And those service providers, they are providing a lot of additional financial service in addition to payment. And that can be very profitable. And that's the value we are talking about to make it attractive to private sector players to join this ecosystem.
Well,
see, the traditional way of doing things is under attack. It's now the new way of doing things. What is wrong with the traditional way of doing things? So this is the exact same reason why men and women are so far apart. Because the traditional way of doing things is no longer in style. You go out there, you meet a girl, you talk with her, things click up, and then you guys start to, give it a try, the relationship. You end up marrying her, having children and all that, right? And that traditional way of doing things, like he said, you don't have to do your due diligence. He was talking about banks, right? Well, doing your due diligence is a good thing. All this online dating and things like that, you don't do your due diligence. You don't vet the people you're supposed to be trying to get in a relationship with. What happens? This is why divorce is an all-time high. Why? Because the traditional way of doing things is under attack. So he's making it look like the traditional way of doing things is so bad, and they sell it to you with this conveniency, right? It is convenient. It is easy. It is cheap. Nothing good comes easy. Nothing you will truly appreciate comes easy. This is what you have to understand. And a lot of relationship has suffered because of this. A lot of things on this earth right now is suffering because of trying to get it the easy way. And now they're introducing this social credit score system. So if you want to get a loan in the bank, they will go through your data, where you buy your coffee. So if you don't buy your coffee at the, big corporations, Starbucks, all these other corporations, the big ones, if you don't buy it from them, then they probably will not give you loans. You see where they're taking all of this? So this is why you have to be, when they're talking these things, the way they garnish it, the way they put it so eloquently to make it enticing to you, right? To make it enticing to you like it's a good thing. Nah, it's not a good thing. So before you receive any help, there's now a lot of factors at play now. What you do online, even if you exercise your freedom of speech online, that can factor in you not being able to get a loan and you not being able to get any kind of help. That is the social credit score system. So how much more of an obedient citizen are you? This is what they're doing. This is exactly what they're doing. That is total control. So now you have to live your life on a ledge, so to speak. You can't do anything to falter the government, or else you pay a hefty price. But here he is sitting and spewing his madness, making it look like it's a very good thing, all because of, the traditional way, face to face. There's something wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. The traditional way of doing things have always worked. There's a reason why you earn trust. That face to face says a lot of things. To meet somebody, you interact with the person. You check out their spirit. What kind of, are they off? A lot can be deduced just from meeting somebody. You can deduce a lot from meeting somebody and being in a conversation with them. See? But here it is, outrightly attacking the traditional way of doing things. So read between the lines always. You always have to read between the lines when they make all these speeches and understand what they're trying to do. Here is 2 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter, and the 11th verse. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, in the NLT, so that Satan will outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, salutation, shalom, shalom, shalom to all your brothers and sisters out there that are of the household of faith, to the men, women, and children that are allotted to be delivered in these latter days, who are of the elect, beginning with the 144,000 mighty men of the house of Israel, down to the men, women, and children, and to you brothers that are pushing this gospel in all sincerity and in all honesty. To you all, I say shalom. Well, I just saw that clip, and a lot of things was clicking in my mind, right? Like, because this is IMF, International Monetary Fund, and now they're talking about a new way of doing things. The traditional way of doing things is out the window, so to speak. And gradually, is that term gradualism, right? Gradually, they've been conditioning the minds of the people to accept this new way of doing things. And part of this new way of doing things includes the social credit score system. This is where, like you said, data. And where do you get all this data from? Online. So everything you do online will now factor in what help you're going to get. If you're going to get a loan, it doesn't even matter if you're good for it, right? Somebody wants a loan, like, I'm good for it, I can pay it, right? Well, it goes beyond that now. It's not just because you're good for it. Now, a lot of factors into play. How have you been criticizing the government online, right? Did you say that climate change is bull crap? Have you been spewing madness about the jabby jabs? Have you been saying things about chemtrails, right? Have you been saying things about the destruction of Babylon, aka America, right? Have you been saying things about the alphabet community? So all of this factor now, this is going back to the George Orwell's 1984. This is where you get your thought police. The police that is about your thoughts. Hence why on Facebook, I haven't been on Facebook for a very long time, but when I was on there, they ask you, what is on your mind? That is like that, the space where you write things you want to say, right? What it asks you is, what is on your mind? Like, what the heck? Why would you want to know what's on my mind? Well, it goes back to the data they are collecting. Like it says, this credit score system is about data. So Facebook knows what it was doing when it asks you what is on your mind, because they want to know that they're compiling data on you, what you're about. And this data now will play a huge role on the next phase of the system they're bringing in, this digital concentration camp. This is where you get your mark of the beast from. The mark of the beast ties it all in. Now they have to put you in the grid 24 hours of the day, right? You always have to be on the grid. They know what you're doing. Like he just said it. They like something so measly as where you get your coffee. They want to know that, right? They want to know that how much shit you take in a day, right? Yeah, it sounds crazy. They want to know. If they want to know where you get your coffee, what makes you think they want to know how much shit you take in a day, right? The meat, how much meat consumption right? He's talking about your Uber. Do you take Uber to get to point A to point B? So all of this data they're building on you will determine where you stand in this NW war agenda, in this new world they've built. The infrastructure is already in place. What will now tie it all together is the mark of the beast, and this is the electronic tag that will put in your arm or in your head. This is where the total control, the epitome of the total control, this is where it maxes out. Once you take that chip, that's it. You are forever on the grid. This is why there's a stern warning on anybody not to take that chip. Because once you take that chip, you've pledged your allegiance to these guys, right? Not that they own you. That's what it is. That's that digital all. That they own you and they can do whatever they want with you. And in the scriptures, in Revelation, the 14th chapter, it tells you that if you take that chip, that you will be dealt accordingly. You'll be dealt with accordingly. There's a judgment behind you taking the mark of the beast. So know all of these terms that they use. It all ties it into the one thing, the same thing, this new agenda, the new digital infrastructure they've built called the Fourth Industrial Revolution, where everything will be digital, even you. So now everything you do will be based on the data you've produced. Going back to the scripture, 2 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter and 11th verse, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. NLT. So that Satan will outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. So they have guys like this, and they sit in their meetings like this and bring up all these talking points, what they're looking to do, right? And they tell you outrightly that they're looking to do away with the traditional way of doing things. And part of the traditional way of doing things is to go cashless. So there's always something, a physical thing involved. If you're trying to buy something, you have to produce a physical thing. Back in the day, it used to be trading and bartering, right? You have something, you want something else, you give in what you have and you get something from it, right? And they brought it to the coinage system, with the silver and the gold and all that, right? Now, they put it with the fiat currency, which is a legal tender, right? It stands in place of the gold or the silver. Now, they're looking to do away with the cash. Everything will now be digital. You see? So all the traditional way of doing things is under attack. You should be aware of this. You should be very aware. Don't let them overtake you with these evil schemes. Which brings us here real quick. Micah, the 2nd chapter and the 1st verse, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. In the NLT, it says, what sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night, thinking up evil plans. You rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out simply because you have the power to do so. So you see these guys in Davos meetings, WEF, IMFs, Trilateral Commission, the Club of Rome, Illuminati, Freemasonic, all this organization, so to speak, beginning with the wicked elites, putting out the order that the minions have to carry out, what happens? They have the power to do so. Because the power has been given to them to do so. Hence why they're pushing everybody towards this digital age. Digital age, everything is all about data. Now you understand why they have to have artificial intelligence to be in charge of all this data. Because a human being cannot control all that data. It's too much information. I don't care how many humans cannot handle all of that. It's just too much information to try to, you see? So now they need AI to kind of like be the governing body for all this data, all this information that they're gathering from the masses all across the world. You see? And why are they doing this? Because they have the power to do so. The power has been given to them, right? He goes on, he says, and they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. You buy a house, you still got to pay mortgage on it. You still got to pay your taxes on it, or else they take it away. Nothing, you don't really own anything. Hence why they're going into, you will own nothing and be happy. That is nothing but oppression. That is the real definition of oppression. You work and you have nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. And they want you to be happy. In the NLT, he said, when you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. When you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. What happened in North Carolina, they said there was a land that they needed because of natural resources that was in there. What happened? Well, they used the weather modifications to do some things in there, and they're looking to take away those lands. Same happened to the Native Americans that used to own America. What happened? Well, the Edomites came, they wanted the land, and they took it by violence and bloodshed. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Same thing is happening in Gaza, right? If you want to, they take it by violence. So you take it by fraud and violence. You cheat a man of his property, stealing his family's inheritance. So this is what the wicked elite do, and they've been doing this for a mighty long time. It says here, therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil. Which family? Well, the top echelon of the Edomites, the wicked elites of the Idumeans. This is the family that he's talking about. The family that run everything. Yeah, the usual suspects. Your Rothschilds, your Rockefellers, Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, Merovingians, Ashtors, guys like that. Right? Trickle down to the minions. You see? So the Most High hasn't, like it says here, therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for the time is evil. And in NLT, but this is what the Lord says, I will reward your evil with evil. You won't be able to pull your neck out of the noose. You will no longer walk around proudly, for it is terrible times. So all the wickedness that the wicked elites have done, there's going to come a time where they have to pay. And rightfully so. If you're in the right state of mind, you want them to pay for all they've done. All the crimes against humanity they've done. All the plans that they have to do for the future, which will require them to further oppress. They will pay for it. They will. So keep your eyes peeled. Always stay in the spirit so you won't be taken advantage of by the evil schemes of the wicked. And with that, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone. See you next time, Lord willing. Shalom. Shalom.